Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 17th episode of the Gory Hole podcast. My name is Jenny.
Hi, my name's Nikki.
And we have a very special guest.
We have the most special guest.
Oh my God. This is the greatest thing.
Let's address the elephant in the room, the cold Ethel in the room.
Yes, Cold Ethel is here.
She's here with us.
The Cold Ethel.
The Cold Ethel.
From episode 2.
Yep. If you don't know who Cold Ethel is, go back and listen to the story.
Yes.
This
Definitely
is
go
her.
back and listen to episode 2. We've mentioned her a lot.
Yes, she's a running theme in the show. Mm-hmm. And now she's here with us
She's here.
in her rightful home.
Mm-hmm. We gave her clothes.
We did.
We gave her a hat.
Yep.
And we rescued her.
We did.
We are starting a rescue.
A Cold Ethel rescue.
Yes. A rescue for sex dolls who were not loved enough.
Yes.
Emotionally
and
loved.
maybe she was well loved. I don't know.
I'm sure she was well physically loved.
I just know that her owner is no longer with us
Right.
in this mortal coil, and she needed a new home.
She needed
So
a new
we
home.
did that for her. She now lives in the Gory Hole dungeon,
Yeah.
and she is happy as ever, as you can tell.
Yeah. And she's blonde, which we weren't expecting.
Yes,
We
yes.
thought she was brunette,
Yep.
but she's blonde.
She's blonde.
And we went and got her today.
We did. This is the weirdest thing I've ever done.
Yes.
Today was the weirdest thing. Should we just tell the story how we
Yes.
got her?
You go ahead and start. Oops,
Okay,
sorry, I hit my
so-
microphone.
You're good. So we went and got her from
Bob.
Thank you, because I'm always afraid I'm going to mess that up.
She used to belong to Jeff.
She used to belong to Jeff. Jeff unexpectedly died a little over a year ago, and Cold Ethel has been staying at Bob's house.
And Steve
And Steve
wanted her.
Steve wanted her.
I remembered the names, so I filled them in for you.
Steve's wife died earlier this year, and
Yeah.
expressed interest in Ms. Ethel here, and we said no. We said we're bringing her to our house. She's had enough abuse.
Yes.
And she's going to live here in the dungeon now. And so we went and got her today. And it was Jenny and I went and got her. And it was the weirdest thing we've ever done. We went and got her. And Bob had her balled up. So she's bendable. She's posable. She's bendable. You can, bend all of her joints. Her head screws off. It was completely off when we got her. We had
Yeah.
to screw it back on. So we received her head in a trash bag.
Yeah.
It was creepy as fuck.
It was like we were disposing of a body.
And or like
It's like, here
moving
she
a
is.
body
Take her.
for
I don't
you.
want to see her again.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what you
So-
do with her.
Right. Her head was in a bag and her body was like all contorted, and a sheet, a fitted sheet is where he was storing her. And so she was all just balled up, and you can tell she'd been balled up for a while because she's kind of damaged.
She's pretty damaged.
Her silicone is a little cracked in places.
Yeah.
So
She's got kind of a wonky knee.
she's got a wonky knee. She's got a wonky elbow. Her feet look like she's been walking on black, like in dirt for years.
So she might be alive.
She might be.
Because
She
it
might
looks
get
like
up
she's
and
been
leave.
walking around.
It does. The bottom of her feet are fucking nasty. So
You need a pedicure, Ethel.
Ooh.
She's missing a couple fingernails.
Yep, and toenails. Yep. But
So
so
the
she's
wig is in
the
pretty
wig
good
is in
shape.
decent shape. Yep. So we popped that back on her. She was just wearing a sports bra when we got her, so we put the rest on her and put her back together again. And here she is
Yeah.
in the flesh.
In all her glory.
Cold Ethel, everybody. We've been waiting for this moment for so long.
I know. This has been something we've been wanting to tell you guys.
Yes.
If you've heard us mention surprises, this was
Yeah.
one of them.
This is one of them. Here she is, everybody.
And yeah, so if you choose to watch on YouTube, Ethel will be dressed up.
Yep.
She'll have different outfits.
Yep.
Sometimes her hair might be different.
Yeah.
Today she is wearing, if you aren't watching and you're just listening, she has one of my old red dresses on.
Yeah, it's like a sundress.
It's like a sundress that I used to wear over like swimsuits years ago, and it was in a giveaway pile. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, donate
Perfect.
it to Ethel.
It is working hard to keep those boobs in.
These boobs are easily 20 pounds. Easily, maybe each. She's heavy.
She is very heavy, and they make up the most of her weight, I believe.
Her butt's pretty big too.
Her butt is huge, and her waist is approximately this big around. Like I could put both hands around her waist and probably meet my fingers. So
She also has a Duff beer hat on.
She does have a Duff beer hat on. We added that.
Yes.
And the spider in her hair is.
Yeah, we
It's
added
just from
that
being
too.
in the dungeon. You know, it just happens.
Well, yeah, if you're in a dungeon, you're going to get
That's what
spiders in your
happens.
hair.
So
And
she's
Cold-
here.
She's not scared of spiders.
She's not scared of spiders.
She looks
Yeah.
kind of relaxed.
Yeah, she
seems like she's kind of
Well,
lounging.
I mean, she's in a much better place right now.
Yeah.
So
I'd much rather be here hanging
she-
out with us than whatever
yes.
she did prior.
Jenny and Nikki's home for Wayward Ethyls is here, and I feel really good about this.
Me too.
I think she does too.
I feel like we did a good deed.
Yeah. So
In a
I'm really
weird
glad
way.
you're here. I'm really glad you're here, Ethel.
Me too.
And you are cold. You are in fact cold. We can tell that you're cold. And sorry about that. The dungeon is cold.
Yeah.
So
I don't think there's much fixing that though.
she's perpetually cold.
all the time.
So that, it's what it is.
And if you're wondering if you are watching, if you're not watching, I'm going to describe her to you a little bit more.
Yeah.
She's got bright blue eyes. Her eyes are pretty, but they were kind of like
They were pretty
looking a
wonky.
couple different directions when we brought her.
You can straight up stick your fingers in her eyes and move them around. So
Yeah.
we did that to get them back on track.
And she doesn't have the typical O face,
No.
which was what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I was expecting her mouth to be like an O shape. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, but she's got the pouty lips.
Yeah, she's got pouty lips, and her mouth does open though. We figured that out.
Yeah, it's real creepy.
It goes up into
You
her
have to
brain.
kind of like squeeze it open, and then it's like you can't unsee it. So
Yeah. But we won't do that to you anymore.
No.
We'll just occasionally put lipstick on you or
Yeah.
something so that
Yeah.
you feel pretty.
yeah,
She came with instructions.
she did. She
Nikki,
came with an
would you
instruction
like
booklet.
to share?
Yes, and I
Oh.
didn't bring them over here. Todd, will you throw me that
Oh, I
instruction
thought that's
booklet?
what you had. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I meant to bring it.
Well, one part about her picking her up too was Nikki didn't want to tell producer Todd that we had
yeah.
her.
I wanted
so
to
we
surprise
snuck
him.
her in.
We snuck her in like we were smuggling drugs into my basement.
We're
And-
carrying the sheet that's clearly body shaped
Right.
around the side of your
He
house.
didn't know she was here though. We pulled it off, but he was not nearly as like scared as I thought he would be when he saw her. He just goes, "Oh, she's here.
It's you,
She's
Ethel.
here.
We meet again.
We have a visitor." So yeah, so here, first of all, it's called Sassy Love, but it's just SASY. There's an S missing. Sassy Love, Sassy Life.
Sassy love, sassy
Instruction, just singular
life.
instruction. And this is written in really terrible English, and it's hilarious. Okay, nursing. There's a paragraph titled "Nursing:" You can bath the model average every 10 to 20 days. Please apply baby powder after the bath to prevent the crack. That is verbatim what this says. To prevent the crack. Note.
I don't think she got baby
No,
powder,
I don't think
she's
so.
cracked in a
She's
lot of
cracked as
places.
fuck. Well, also she's been in a ball in a basement in a sheet for over a year.
Have you ever
So-
had a bath?
I don't know. I don't know that I want to know.
Yeah, I don't.
honestly. Okay, I'm going to read the rest of this. Note: customers with allergy should be tested before using the talcum powder, cosmetics, and other. Long-term pressure side may have indentation. The pressure side up, it will recover after a few days. DAYA. This is great. This is just, it's gold. It is.
Frame it and hang it down here.
We should. As the nature of the material stained easily, it should be prohibited to wear coarse, easy-to-fade clothes. Cleaning cream can only handle minor staining, and large area stain is difficult to remove completely. Skeleton. It talks about her skeleton, which is creepy. It
I
talks
saw
about
that,
how
yeah.
to move the skeleton and that like the range of motion that the skeleton has.
Which is metal bars,
Yes,
by the way.
it's metal, and that's probably also why it's so fucking heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has little range of motion exercises you can do with her. It's, oh boy, it is great. Sassy love, sassy life.
There's like a world map on the
Yep,
back.
the whole world needs a sassy love, sassy life instruction.
Oh my God. Instruction.
Instruction. Just one.
Just one.
Oh boy, Ethel, we are so glad to have you.
Yes. Do you have anything you'd like to say, Ethel?
We should get her a little microphone.
We should get her a microphone.
Here, you can use mine for a second.
I'm very happy to be here. I don't know. What do you think Ethel sounds like?
I don't know. She does sound like she'd have like a breathy southern drawl.
Like, my name's Ethel.
I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
She probably sounds like a phone sex operator.
I would imagine. Yeah.
What are you wearing?
My giant titties are so heavy.
They're so heavy. I can't find a bra to fit them. She gives me definite Pam, like 90s Pam Anderson vibes.
Yeah, especially with the red dress.
The red, yeah.
She
like
looks
from
very
Baywatch.
Baywatch, yeah.
Yep. And the blonde wig for sure. Mm-hmm. Man, this is great.
Yeah, she's just lounging, hanging out with us in the dungeon. Fits right in.
I'm so glad we have her.
Me too.
Yeah, this is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's definitely the weirdest errand I've ever
so weird
run in my life.
We were like sweating and like breathing
grunting,
hard,
trying to bring her down the stairs,
to like, get her down here. And I just kept going, this is the weirdest shit I've ever done in my life. Weirdest shit I've ever done. And her skin is like that weird silicone material that's kind of old. And so when you touch her, it's like sticky film left on your hands. It's really gross.
It's like that weird.
So we were like moving her around, and it's like,
you're longer than me. You should lean forward for the camera and just poke her.
Do a little poke.
Do a poke.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Nikki's longer than me, so see. Look at those bouncy titties.
Oh, boy. Sorry, Ethel. Had to do a demo.
Just once. We'll never do it again.
Oh You've had much worse done to you.
Yeah.
I trust that. All right. Okay. What are we talking about today?
I'm pretty sure just cold Ethel.
Oh God.
Well, we had to start with that because we are super excited that she's here. It's just
been a long time coming.
It's like meeting a celebrity for me. I have been hearing about her for so long.
Yeah.
And here she is.
She's here.
The cold Ethel.
I met her years ago, but it's been a long time and I did not remember what she looked like. So this was a surprise for me today. And here we are.
She's part of the family.
She is. Welcome to the Gory Hole family, Cold Ethel.
Thank you. I got a lot of gory holes.
Thank you. Oh, she does. She does have a lot of gory holes.
Todd's wriggling over there after I said he went.
He's not really excited about having her here.
No.
He's kind of grossed out.
Yeah.
So
he's like, whatever makes you happy, honey.
It does. I really enjoy it. You buy guitars, I pick up Cold Ethels. What do you want from me? It's funny.
It is hilarious. From my angle, one of her hands is she just looks so relaxed in that.
Relaxed.
She's like in a little
from my angle. I just
chair.
see straight down her cleavage from my angle up here.
Yeah, same. But I don't think there's any escaping that.
No, you can't.
Well, we're happy you're here, Ethel.
Happy. We're so happy you're here.
Well, should we move
Let's dive
on
in. She can listen to us.
Absolutely. What we've been watching, what we've been reading, what we've been listening to.
Let's do that.
All right. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first this time.
All right. I'm going to start with books.
Okay.
So I'm officially finished with ACOTAR.
Okay.
I've never been so sad in my life finishing a book.
So it was really good?
It's really, really good.
Good.
And the fifth book is tons of spice.
Nice.
So it was awesome. It's about Nesta and Cassian.
Okay.
And it's a long book. It's 750 pages, but it went by fast.
Nice.
And there's supposed to be another one coming out, I think, in January.
Oh, so it's not done.
It's not done, I don't think. So I'm fingers crossed it is going to be January, but I'm like, what am I supposed to do until then?
That's exciting.
One thing I wanted to tell you about the ACOTAR books that I don't think I've told you before. Like they are pretty spicy, especially this last one.
Well, yeah, you mentioned like the first one wasn't super, but it seems like as they've gone on, they've gotten spicier. Is that accurate?
Yeah, and definitely book 5 is the most.
Nice. Okay.
It's Nesta and Cassian are fucking each other through that
like
whole
bunnies.
thing.
Okay.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And something that they do in the book, I don't know if Sarah J. Maas, that's the author, is writing this for like just as like a description, or if it's just part of what the high fae immortals do. Every time they climax, they roar.
Oh, interesting.
It always ends like that. Like they roared with their climax. And so in my head, I'm like picturing,
Interesting.
And that they're always growling into each other's like necks and stuff. And I'm like, I was like, does she mean literal roar or does she mean
I mean, it
just
is fantasy, right?
Yeah. So
Could be.
I guess I kind of took it initially as just like it was intense.
Yeah.
But then she kept saying it like roaring with climax. And I was like,
maybe
are they
they're
actually roaring like a tiger? Like, what?
Nice. Well, Ethel, what do you know about roaring with climax?
I've seen that a lot, honey. That just collapse.
Oh, shit. Okay. Nice.
I don't. That kind of turns me off to the sexy fairy thing.
The roaring.
Yeah.
I do. When I've read other, but I've talked about this. If the writer uses the same descriptors with every scene, it gets a little like, come on.
Yeah, and she doesn't really do that. But she does say that
roaring.
one a lot. So that made me think since they're, immortals and have powers, maybe that's what they do.
Okay.
Then maybe she meant it literally.
Yeah, maybe.
So
Okay.
I don't know. I thought you would enjoy the
especially when you do it, when you act it out. Wow.
Imagine if like every porno ended like that.
Oh my god. That would just turn into a comedy.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty entertaining.
Nice.
And I read one other book.
Okay.
I'm in my spice phase.
Yes.
So I found another one that was a kind of a Halloween spooky like short book.
Uh-huh.
And it's called Carving for Kara.
Ooh.
It's like a Halloween party hookup. And I had to tell you about this one part because it made me think of the Viral podcast.
Ooh, okay.
Which we love them.
Yeah.
Chelsea and Paige. We've talked about them a lot.
Yeah.
This guy, there's no sugarcoating it. He fucks her with a cob of corn.
Oh.
A corn cob.
Okay.
And then they call it creamed corn.
Oh. Yeah, that is definitely right out of Viral podcast.
Yeah.
So when you said carving and then you said fucks her, I thought you were going to say with a knife or something creepy. I was going to dark places.
No, he kills somebody who likes her. Or kills her like ex-boyfriend, I think.
So he does carve something.
He does carve somebody, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, he fucks her in a cornfield and like
with a cob of corn.
With a cob of corn and like makes her give it like a blowjob and stuff. So the corn is like a very big part. And I was like, this is different.
You should send that to the Viral podcast. And like, you should read this. There's a literal sex story.
Corn reference.
Corn. Wow.
Like, it's
like she could add that to Letters to Penthouse and read it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
At least that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm going to send it to him.
That's funny. You should.
All right. So those are my books.
Okay.
Did you have, I have a couple movies that I watched too, but you want me to keep going?
Tell me about your stuff and then I'll go.
Okay. So for Halloween, not that long ago, I always watch scary movies. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Every day's Halloween in my house.
Yeah.
I watched Dawn of the Dead, which I hadn't seen in a while. The 90s 90s.
Okay.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
That one's pretty good. Ryan and I have been doing impressions of zombie babies ever since then because there is a zombie baby in that movie.
Okay,
have you seen that?
It's been so long, but yeah.
You want me to do the zombie baby?
Do it.
That's literally what they do. They open this thing and see a zombie baby and then it goes. And so now Ryan and I have been doing that like on and off. Just like, do your zombie baby noise. It's like became a weird joke because that's literally what the baby does.
Okay.
And then you just hear a gunshot because they like
they have to put the zombie baby down.
Yeah, they have to. It's gonna kill them.
Yeah, I know.
Like, got no choice.
That's what zombies do.
Yeah, that's what zombies do. Doesn't matter. Baby, old, zombies gotta go.
They all do it.
They gotta go. And then I watched The Craft.
Oh, it's a great one.
I love The Craft. Yeah. I hadn't seen that in a minute.
So good. What's her name? The interesting name chick, the dark hair, the really goth.
Oh gosh.
Oh, she has a great name. What's her name, Todd? Veruza Balk.
Yes.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah.
And she's in Waterboy.
Vicky Valancourt.
Vicky Valancourt.
Yes.
She's great.
She's so good.
I love her.
And she's got a cool voice, I think.
She does, and a great name, and like a really, what do I want to say? Like a really interesting look. Like she's really pretty, and I think she has these really like pretty eyes and like,
but they're menacing too.
Yeah, like she's like a look about her, and she pulls off the black eyeliner like none.
She definitely
other.
has like a sexy witch vibe.
Like yes, maybe that's it. She has like a presence about her.
Yeah, because she has kind of a witchy look, but it's like a sexy witchy look.
She definitely plays that character perfectly.
And then the girl has all of them really Nev Campbell.
Yes.
Love Nev Campbell.
Yes.
She looked like such a baby.
They were. They were all
babies.
babies. Yeah.
And I forgot Christine Taylor was in it too.
Who's that?
It's a Ben Stiller's wife.
Oh, yeah.
Who was in Dodgeball.
Yes.
Yeah, she's in it too.
Yeah.
And I forgot that she was. She's like the bully.
Uh-huh. I forgot that too.
The racist bully.
Yes.
And then her hair falls out.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it was very good. And Ulrich, what's his first name? Skeet Ulrich.
Skeet.
Yes.
I had a big crush on him as a teenager.
Me too.
Skeet Ulrich. Oh, my.
Yeah, it kind of was. He looked good.
Yeah.
He was a baby in that one too.
Name.
But yeah.
Skeet. Skeet. Yeah, that's him. Old Skeet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I just liked everything in that movie. Like it made me like, I was like on Amazon looking up like witchy clothing and stuff and like witchy decor. I was like, this is, I just like, I want it all. I want all the candles. I want all the decor. I want all the clothes. I was like,
when they play that light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Oh yeah.
Game, I used to actually try to do that when I was
I've tried to do that before too.
We'd do that at like a sleepover. Oh, so good.
Yeah. We always did that. And then every girl at the sleepover would be like, I've done it before and it works. It's never worked for me ever. I'm like, it didn't work for you. You're lying.
One time at Stacy's house, we actually got her to the ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what would happen with my friends. It was like, I was at my cousin Kristen's house and we had her like above our heads.
Yeah.
And we didn't drop her.
Right.
And we don't know how we did it. I'm like,
Nobody
okay.
knows.
And we were just like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Let's try it.
Right.
Nothing ever happened.
Right.
That is a like teenage girl thing to do that. Try to have a seance.
Oh yeah. I used to do that shit.
Yeah. All the time.
Yep.
And then nothing. And then you grow out of it.
Yeah.
And then you become a middle-aged millennial and you get all into it again.
Yep.
Yep. So that's all on my list of watching and reading and listening.
Okay.
What do you got?
So we have been watching this week the Fall of the House of Usher. Have you watched it yet?
Not yet.
It's so fucking good.
Oh, it's
You're
on my
gonna love
list.
it.
I know I'm going
It's
to.
so
I'm
good.
so excited.
You
I've
have
kind of
such
been
a-
trying to plan a night that Ryan and I can watch it together because he's been gone a lot.
Like it'll take more than just a night.
Oh yeah.
It's multiple episodes and they're like an hour long. I think there's 9 or 10 maybe. We have one more episode to go. It is a fucking masterpiece so far.
I am so
it's
excited.
so good. I love all of those. Is it Mike Flanagan?
Mike Flanagan.
It
All of
does,
his are good.
Haunting of Bly Manor.
And Haunting of Hill House.
Haunting of Hill House. And then there was another one that was like the last one was like, damn it, what was it?
Ethel, you remember?
Ethel? Todd? Midnight Mass.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
It was a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's same guy. Yeah, they're all great, and this is no different. It's so good, and you have such a boner for Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes,
you'll love it because every episode is titled after one of his poems, and it kind of like does a play on whatever it is. Like,
oh, I'm excited.
Oh, it's so good. It's really gory. It starts off a little bit slow, and you like I don't know about Todd, but the first couple I was like, this isn't like enough for me. I need more jump scares. I need more creep. I need more gore, but it gets there. Yeah. It's really good.
Oh, I'm excited. It's been on there for a minute
You're gonna
to
love
watch.
It.
And I'm kind of I was trying to be nice and wait for my husband so we can watch it together.
Yeah.
But you know what? If he's not home, I'm just going to start it.
You should. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I'm so excited.
We've been watching that. We just have one more, like I said, but it's, oh my God, it's fantastic. What else?
So it's just a mini series, right? Like,
yeah,
okay.
It's just like one season.
Gotcha.
Like, you know, like all the other ones have been the same thing, right? I think just like
so,
one
yeah,
slew of episodes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Or maybe did Hill House have 2 seasons?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't remember. I don't think so either.
So.
I could be wrong though.
The only other thing that I wanted to talk about, this is not gory or scary or
that's okay
up our alley at all, but I watched Daisy Jones and the Six. Have you watched it?
I haven't watched it. That book is literally in my Amazon cart.
The book.
I haven't read it yet, but it's on my
so
ever-growing list.
So I read the book.
Because that's kind of like Stevie Nicks.
It's not
themed-ish.
outwardly like Fleetwood Mac, but it's like a fake Fleetwood Mac. Like I don't know that the author
maybe kind of based on
has
them.
actually said that it's, but it is like it's it feels just like it, and the music in the show sounds just like it.
I'm so excited.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I don't think anyone actually said this is about Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks, but it definitely feels like that when you read and watch it.
Okay, well, got their vibe at least.
Yes, so I read it and then I watched the series, and God damn it, it's so good.
Oh, I'm excited.
So I've been listening to the soundtrack.
Like, I'm not lying. I'm pretty sure it's in my cart.
Yeah,
on Amazon
you'll have
right
to watch
now.
it. It's really good.
I'm gonna probably want to read the book first.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, the book you can almost read in a sitting. It's such an easy read.
Yeah,
have you read it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I read the book first before I ever knew there was going to be a series, and it's so good.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good
Oh,
things.
it's so good. And it's same deal when you said about like watching The Craft and looking up witch stuff. Like I'm looking up all the hippie clothes, and she's wearing
So
all
it's stuff
this
you
cool
look up
stuff.
usually, anyways, right?
Kind of like she
But a
wears
little
all
extra
these,
this
like,
time.
she wears all these big like flowy kimonos, and I'm
I
like
dig
looking
that.
at all the ones in my closet I already don't wear, and like.
But you
God,
need
but
more.
I know it's so good. I love all the decor because it's all set in like the 60s and 70s.
Oh, nice.
So it's all the decor and the clothing that I love, and it's so good. So yeah, that's not really on theme, but that's the other thing I've been.
I think people like discussing what they're reading, what they're watching, what they're listening to. I like talk. Those are my favorite things to talk about.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm still in the middle of John Dies at the End, the book.
Okay.
So that's all I got.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have too.
Nice.
Let's see.
Do we want to do the emails?
Oh yeah.
You've got mail.
Let's do the emails. We got a couple of fan emails.
Yeah, we had one in particular that we were going to talk about for this one.
Yeah.
So we had a new listener who emailed.
Yep.
And oddly enough, the email was about Cold Ethel.
Yeah.
So Ethel, this is about you.
Maybe
Somebody likes
one of your kin.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe. So this guy said he was working at a theme park Halloween event, and one of the rooms had a dead woman on a gurney, and they used a Cold Ethel for the dead woman.
That's perfect.
Yeah, and since we carried her in a
real.
sheet, yes, she's perfect for a dead body.
Yes.
And they had to spray her down with cooking spray and or lubricant to gross people out because dudes kept like fondling her and shit.
Gross.
Said he wasn't sure if Ethel was new or gently used, but he wants to believe the park sprung for a new doll.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so too. Or somebody running it is like, don't worry, I got one of those in my basement.
I'll bring her in tomorrow.
I need a new one anyway.
Oh, God.
So yeah, somebody's using things like you, or people like you in haunted houses. You're not a thing.
She's like, what do you mean people like me?
You are a beautiful woman with
You're
giant
good enough.
boobs.
You're smart enough. And gosh darn it, people like you.
You is kind. You is smart. You is important.
Okay, I have the other one. You want me to read the other one? The Darwin?
Sure.
So we have another email from Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the last one is from Seth. We should say thank
Oh
you
yeah,
to Seth.
Seth. Hi,
Thank
Seth.
you, Seth. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This one's from Sam. We read one of Sam's emails on our Halloween episode.
Yes,
so
we did.
Sam says thank you for that. So Sam has a good nomination for a Darwin Award. So this is great. This took place back in the mid-90s, the summer before my freshman year of high school. One night, 3 people, 2 men and 1 woman, blew up. And it took me a minute to realize this person actually meant they blew up. Like they exploded. They exploded themselves.
Not blew up with fame,
Right.
Or
their phones didn't blow up. They exploded.
yeah, they were gone.
Yes. So they say the story goes that they stopped to look inside some oil containers to see how full they were. You can see where this is going. The men climbed up and opened the hole used by oil field workers to check the levels of the oil inside. They didn't have a flashlight, but one of them did have a Zippo lighter.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Genius.
They used the lighter
What
to
could
see
go wrong?
They used the lighter to see the oil inside, not taking into account the combustible vapors that came off the oil. The 2 men were identified by using blood and dental records. The woman was found in what was left of the truck. Sam says they're only nominating the 2 men because that poor woman had nothing to do with that
Probably
plan.
not. Definitely not. She's probably like, you fucking morons.
Sam says, thank you for reading my nomination, and please keep up the good work on your podcast. Your backwoods buddy, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you, Sam. That was awesome.
Anytime you guys have a Darwin Award
or
story.
anything. Yes.
Anything. Yeah,
Please.
we love just hearing stuff.
Yes. Cold Ethel stories, Darwin Awards.
Yes. I love the idea of a cold Ethel used in a haunted house too.
Yes, that's perfect.
But yeah, I would worry about her because just people are going to be creepy with her.
Oh yeah. Like trying to stick their fingers in her mouth or touch her boob or whatever.
Stick fingers somewhere else.
Yeah, gross.
Squeeze her butt or something.
Yeah.
But not when you're in the dungeon.
Not here. You're safe here. Except
Yeah.
for when I had just poked you that one time, just to see.
It was one time.
It was just to show.
Yeah. How lovely your skin is.
We are.
It was a compliment.
We're like totally.
Well, if somebody wanted to poke my boob to
grooming
show how
her.
bouncy they were, I'd let them.
We're grooming her. We're like, it's okay if it's just one time. It's just one time, and it's us. So you got to be okay.
And
with
you trust us.
That's so predatory.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ethel.
It's okay, Ethel. We love you. Forgive us.
You're in a better place now, Ethel.
We'll never do it. We just wanted to show how pretty your skin was.
Yeah, exactly.
Puts the lotion on its skin.
Oh God.
It was a joke, Ethel.
Yeah, don't get all wound up about it. God, you're so dramatic.
I just
All
love
right.
her. I love her so much.
Maybe she could just sit in your lap.
God, she would crush me.
She would. She's very heavy.
She's so heavy.
All right.
It's the metal, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Are you ready for... Oh, wait. I got to get one thing ready. Are you ready for surprise topic?
Yeah. Surprise topic.
Let's do it. I have one little window I got to open, and then I have most of it printed out.
Awesome.
But I couldn't print out one thing. All right. So my topic, I'm curious to see if you've heard about it or know about this. It's the 27 Club. Have you heard of the 27 Club?
Oh, I don't think so.
Ooh, okay. I'm excited you haven't heard of this. All right. So the 27 Club is an informal list consisting mostly of popular musicians, artists, actors, and other celebrities who died at the age of 27. Haven't heard of this?
Maybe. That's kind of... keep going. That sounds familiar now.
So many people. So many well-known celebrities, musicians, mostly musicians, I feel like it started with, have died at the age of 27. So it's become this like cultural phenomenon. Mm-hmm. There is, let's see, it's been refuted by scientific research, but it remains a cultural phenomenon with many celebrities who die at 27 noted for their high-risk lifestyles. So I'm going to kind of like tell you the history and everything and then go through and list off a bunch of people who've died at 27.
Oh.
All right. So the lore kind of started between the years 1969 and 1971 because like bam, 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 like 5 people died. Really like well-known people at the time died at 27.
Okay.
Mostly of drug overdose or some of them, they don't know if it's like suicide or drug overdose, accidental. But at the time between those years, the big ones were Brian Jones. He was in the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
Jimi Hendrix. Janis Joplin and Jim Morrison all died at 27 during that little span of time. Let's see. It came to be known as the 27 Club. Attributes special significance to popular musicians, artists, actors, and other celebrities. I talked about that. Most of them are often the result of drug and alcohol abuse or violent means such as homicide, suicide, or transportation-related accidents. It gave rise to an urban myth that celebrity deaths are more common at 27, a claim that has been refuted by statistical research. Talked about that. Okay. So, let's see. What do I want to read to you that would be exciting? Probably don't want to hear about scientific studies. That's a little dull. Let me skip to some more interesting things. All right, so it is, the 27 Club frequently appears by name and reference in popular culture and mass media. There are several songs about the 27 Club. There's lyrics about songs in 27 Club. I bet there's songs that you've heard that you didn't know that were about this. Because there were a couple that I knew, but then there's several I didn't realize. It's referenced in books, films, plays, video games, everywhere. So a few songs that reference the 27 Club. There's a song by Fall Out Boy called 27 from their 2008 album. The lyrics explore the hedonistic lifestyles common in rock and roll. And the primary lyricist of Fall Out Boy wrote the song because he felt that he was living a similarly dangerous lifestyle. I think he's still alive, though.
Yep.
Okay.
He is.
There's another song called 28 by somebody named John Craigie. I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
But they had an album in 2009 and had a song called 28 referencing, it's written from the perspective of 27 Club members, Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, and Kurt Cobain, as each contemplates their respective mortality and imagines what they would do differently if, quote, I could only make it to 28. He wrote the song when he was 27. There's a song called 27 Forever by a guy named Eric Burden.
I don't know who that
I don't either. There is a band called Magenta. They have a song called The 27 Club, which directly references the club. Each track is a tribute to a member of the club. That's cool. Daughtry's song Long Live Rock and Roll from their 2013 album references the club with the lyrics, They're forever 27, Jimmy, Janis, Brian Jones. Let's see. There's a rapper named Watsky who references the club in his 2014 song, All You Can Do, with the lyric, I tried to join the 27 Club. They kicked me out. The song then goes on to reference some famous members of the club, namely Amy Winehouse, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, Jim Morrison, and Brian Jones.
Wow.
Mac Miller. Do you know who Mac Miller is? He died.
I don't think so.
He was a rapper. He was famous online for rapping super duper fast. Like he would just like record himself on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Rapping wicked fast.
I probably agree with
He died, I believe. Like in the last few years, he died. In 2015, he had a song called Brand Name. His lyrics were, to everyone who sell me drugs, don't mix it with that bullshit. I'm hoping not to join the 27 Club. Miller died at age 26 after consuming counterfeit oxycodone pills that contain fentanyl. So yeah, he did die.
Oh.
Not at 27. Close though.
Yeah.
Halsey has a song called Colors from her 2015 album. It includes the line, I hope you make it to the day you're 28 years old. There's one by Frank Ocean. There's several others. I'm not going to read all of them. The next one that I knew for sure was a band called The Pretty Reckless. Have you heard of them? Mm-hmm. Taylor Momsen she was Cindy Lou Who in The Grinch.
Oh, okay.
She's in a rock and roll band now, and she's
a
really? Woman. Mm-hmm. So their band's called The Pretty Reckless. Her song is called Rock and Roll Heaven. It was a 2021 album. And the song is all about Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, and it says that she wrote the song after falling into a depressive state from the deaths of her producer and Chris Cornell, because her producer and Chris Cornell died like pretty close together. Okay. And her band opened for Chris Cornell, or I don't know if he was in Soundgarden at the time, but her band opened for him like the night before he died. And she's like his biggest fan. That's crazy. She wrote this song. Yeah. He wasn't 27, obviously, but so she wrote all about that. So there's a whole bunch of other references, but yeah, a bunch of video games mentioned. There's a video game called Hitman, and there's a mission called Club 27 that involves killing an indie musician who is celebrating his 27th birthday. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff, a bunch of comics. I won't read through all of that. Wow. But let me read you some people who are in the 27 Club. So there's a lot. There's pages and pages, but I'm not going to read them all. I'm going to read the ones that, like some notable ones and some that we've probably heard of. So there are a ton. Like they have somebody in here from 1881. I'm not going to read that. Come on. So if we're talking about it really became popular in like the late 60s, early 70s, I'm going to skip to kind of that era. There's so many older ones. Okay, so we have some of the names of these people are pretty great too. There's a person called Fat Pat, who was murdered at 27. He was a rapper. All right, we have R.I.P. Fat Pat. Amy Winehouse.
I didn't know she was 27.
Yep, she was 27, died of alcohol poisoning.
I love Amy
at 27.
Winehouse.
Yeah, she's a great
Big
singer.
fan.
Great singer. Anton Yelkin was a big one. He died in 2016 in a car accident. He was an actor. He was in like Star Trek and a bunch of other stuff. He was 27.
Okay.
Who else? There's so many that I just don't know that I'm not gonna. Young Trappa.
Okay.
Overdose. He was a Russian rapper. He died of an overdose. I'm going to go to this Rolling Stone article because they have a bunch of good ones that I'm going to read you. Robert Johnson was one. Have you heard of Robert Johnson? He was a blues guy. He was a blues legend. He died quite a while ago. This one was older than this when this club kind of started. It was in 1938, but he's known for supposedly selling his soul to the devil to become a good guitar player.
Oh.
So he has all
That's
this
not
like
a good idea.
he has all this like legend around him. But he has folklore songs about hellhounds, the devil, and general despair. And he has like crazy guitar lines and stuff. And he supposedly has influenced a lot of the people who then went on to become members of the 27 Club and die early. The band Cream, Eric Clapton's band Cream, covered some of his songs. The Rolling Stones covered some of his songs.
Okay.
He's like a really well-known guy in the music industry. So he was a big one. I talked about Brian Jones. So Brian Jones it was 1969. He mixed alcohol and drugs and then dove into a swimming pool and died. He had already been kicked out of the Rolling Stones, I believe. But his death was kind of like a mystery, but he was found dead. Alan Wilson is a guy from a band called Canned Heat that was really popular in the 60s. He died in 69. He had suffered from depression. He had an eccentric habit of sleeping outdoors. So he just like went and took some drugs and went to sleep outside and died one night.
It's not funny.
I know. It's weird. They think he committed suicide, but nobody really knows. Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
He died in 1970 while staying with his girlfriend in London. He took some sleeping pills. It says nobody knows for sure how many pills he swallowed or whether he understood what he was taking. The drug was Vesperax, which was a strong barbiturate. Half a tablet was enough to put a man to sleep for 8 hours. Jimmy may have swallowed as many as 9. He'd also been drinking. But I guess this was like normal for him. It says this was foolish and reckless, but it was in character. During his years on the road, Jimmy had gotten into the habit of using drugs indiscriminately. He would take a handful of shit, not even knowing what it was. And I think that girlfriend that was with him ended up becoming part of the 27 Club as well. Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
So she returned to her hotel room in Hollywood after her last recording session. She sang A Woman Left Lonely, which was one of the last songs she sang. It was about her boyfriend taking her for granted. She got her heroin kit out in the early morning hours of October 4th, 1970, and injected a vein in her left arm. She went to the cigarette machine in the hotel lobby, went back to her room, closed the door, and passed out and like hit her face on the table and died. And they found her the next day.
Ooh.
Jim Morrison, of course. Let's see. He died. When did he die? This doesn't say. Well, he died when he was 27. It didn't say what year.
I figured.
Let's see. Jim's girlfriend had died at the same age, underlined the weird coincidence of their deaths. It doesn't really have a lot of details about him for some reason. We have Ronald McKernan. His name was Pigpen, his nickname. He was one of the founding members of the Grateful Dead. I don't like this article because it says that this is what it says. Pigpen was a sensitive, somewhat unsightly character with a drinking problem. Unsightly? I think he's cute as shit and he has long hair and a beard, but they called him unsightly. And he has like a hippie headband on. Fuck you, Rolling Stone.
That's right up Nikki's alley.
He's not unsightly at all. He got together with Jerry.
He's gorgeous.
And his name's Pigpen? Rude. All right. He got together with Jerry Garcia and Bob Weir in 1964. to develop the band that turned into the Grateful Dead.
Mm-hmm.
He started drinking when he was 12, and by his mid-20s had cirrhosis of the liver, ulcers, and other health problems. So he just died randomly, and they didn't find him for several days. There's another guy from a band called the Stooges. Pete Ham is another guy. He was in Badfinger, one of another good band in the 60s. He randomly died. He hanged himself.
Ew. No good.
No. Kurt Cobain, of course.
Yeah.
He died in, I think, 94.
Yeah, I think
this article is very strongly of the opinion that it was a suicide. I don't like that. That bitch did it.
What do you think,
anyway?
Ethel?
Yeah, so he had the shotgun to the face. There is an artist named Jean-Michel, I'm not going to say this right, Jean-Michel Bisquet. He was a celebrity, like a pop culture artist type. He hung out with Andy Warhol.
Nice.
Yeah, so he was kind of known for that type of art. He died in 1988 of acute mixed drug intoxication. Most of these did.
Well, people.
One of the only women, aside from Janis Joplin, is this lady named Mia Zapata. She was the lead singer of a girl band called The Gits. Just kind of like a punk girl band.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Okay. She died in 93. So it was her, Kurt Cobain, and a few of the other, there was somebody else from the band Hole that died all together. So like the Seattle grunge scene in the early 90s was super upset about all these people dying at 27. Anybody else that we would know on this list? Talked about Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
There's a guy that was kind of in Tupac's crew. Mm-hmm. His name was Randy Stretch Walker.
Okay.
So he hung out with Tupac. He joined the 27 Club. What did he die of? He was fatally shot. Yeah, he was assassinated like Tupac. Mm-hmm. This other guy, Jeremy Michael Ward, died of a heroin overdose. He was part of the Mars Volta band.
Yeah.
He died in 2003. So there's just like the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So Amy Winehouse, I talked about her. Hers was in 2011.
Yeah, I remember that.
I do too.
That was depressing.
Yeah.
I like her a lot.
Yeah. Because her rehab song was pretty popular.
Tried to make me go to rehab.
So,
no.
That's pretty much it.
I could see Cold Ethel having a voice like Amy Winehouse.
I could see that.
It kind of seems like it would fit,
Maybe
right? Isn't that weird?
We could give her the like bump up her hair and like give her the Amy Winehouse do.
Let's bump it up, ma'am.
Let's do it.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I have heard of that. As you kind of went through it and started saying names, I have heard of that. Like initially it didn't really.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard about it in a long time. And you know what it makes me think of is like the other kind of theory that celebrities always die in threes. Have you heard that one?
Yeah. Yep. There's another theory kind of woven into this 27 Club thing that there was a white lighter thing that, so part of this, it's like a lot of people were saying that these people that were found dead at 27, all of them owned like a white disposable Bic lighter. So there's like a white lighter conspiracy. It says it was misproven because Bic didn't even make a white disposable lighter until after the like 69 to 71 deaths where everybody was freaking out.
But you can peel the color off.
Maybe. So maybe, I think everybody back then had Zippos, like the reusable, like refillable lighters.
Yeah. Zippos are great.
But yeah, it's like that was part of it. Like I was reading through this and it had a link to this white lighter theory. And I was like, what the hell's that? And that's another thing. Like people like latch onto stuff and try to make meaning out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
And it's usually just a coincidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So speaking of Zippos, this is totally off topic.
Okay.
But just for fun. I figured I'd tell you just because it's a weird fun fact. And I was, did you ever used to go to Seventh Heaven a lot when you were younger?
Yeah.
That's like a smoke shop here in Kansas City.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I used to go there all the time to get Zippos because I always thought, and they always had like all sorts of cool ones in like different shapes. Sorry, you said Zippo and made me think of that. So I know that's totally random. And yeah, that really makes me think of the celebrities dying in threes. Sometimes that does seem like that happens.
Yeah.
And it's like one dies and all of a sudden the next week you hear like 2 more.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting.
Oh,
when you
lately
think
some
about
of
it.
them seem like they're kind of dropping like flies.
Yeah.
Seems like there's been a lot. Matthew Perry was kind of, that's a crazy
Matthew
one.
Perry was recently. Although, do we say we're surprised about that? Because I think he'd been in and out of rehab like 65 times or something.
Yeah.
Like he was a known
Yeah, he
abuser.
did have some. Yeah, you're right.
So I
don't really know a whole lot about him, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I know who he is, but
Right.
and I don't. It would take me a minute to find the article, but I saw some. I think I follow TMZ on Instagram, which is so stupid to even do. But
I was gonna say.
I mean, honestly, I think sometimes they just with stuff news like that, they're usually the
Right.
first to post it.
Yeah.
So then I kind of went and followed them, but then they post all sorts of stupid shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I saw something that said like police were looking into it as a homicide now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I saw that very, very briefly, and I could totally be
that
like
could be
off.
true.
And I think it was either earlier today or yesterday.
Okay. That could definitely be true. I just heard that he took a bunch of drugs and drowned in his hot tub, and I was like, yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think, that'll do it.
That will do it.
Cardiac arrest in a hot tub. That's bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like somebody else died recently too.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people
dude,
did.
there's been a lot. I
Yeah.
feel like lately, and
Yeah.
now I can't even think of them, but I feel like almost every day I get like a text from like somebody that's like, did you hear so-and-so died? I'm like, I get these texts all the time now. It's like people are dropping. But they're all also
crazy.
getting old too.
Yeah,
Some of
that's
them.
true. Yeah. All right. Should we wrap her up?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Ethel, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Ethel.
We are
It's
so
been a
happy you're
blast.
here.
Yes.
I am getting so much joy in my heart just looking at her.
Yeah. This is just great.
It's insane to me that she's
great.
I have seriously been imagining in my head, like pretty much ever since you and I figured out we were going to go get her this week.
Yeah.
I was like, what does she look like?
I was thinking she was brunette. I really did.
I was wondering what her eyes were going to look like, what her facial expression was going to look like. I got shocked when I heard it was a 2-person job. I was like, what? I was like,
Yeah, she heavy.
yeah, she's heavy.
She a heavy bitch.
She's muscular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice
And
way
she's
to
body
say it.
positive.
She is. We don't need to be talking about her weight.
Yeah. She's just
Sorry,
got
Ethel.
muscles. She's got muscles.
You are a perfectly proportionate lady. Not really. But you are perfect just the way you are. You are
Our
perfect.
expressions, we are like,
You're perfect just the way whoever pulled you out of the mold made you.
well, we love you.
We do.
Even with your wonky knee and metal
Yeah,
sticking
you're
out of
not in great
places.
shape. But
You're our friend and we love you.
yeah, luckily the camera only sees like tits and up, so it doesn't matter. It's perfect.
I don't
Like
even
this
think you could
part's fine.
You couldn't hide those tits if you tried.
No, that's for sure. Not even a driver's license photo would hide those.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They'd be poking up.
Oh, you want to hear something funny real quick?
Yeah.
So the other day, I went to go take a shower, and I took off a sports bra that I'd had on for a couple days and pulled out a tortilla chip. That was a new low.
Holy shit.
And I'm going to point out it had been at least 24 hours since I had tortilla chips. It was in my bra and I had no idea.
Oh my God. Todd, what did you say?
You had me in the first half.
Took out the bra, tortilla chip fell out.
Wait, was it still crunchy?
Yeah.
I would think it would be soggy by then.
It wasn't soggy, no.
Wow. Okay.
They weren't sweaty
Wow.
tits. I just had a tank top on, was probably
Wow.
eating some chips and salsa. And
That's awesome.
part of it fell down and
Went
I didn't
down in
notice.
there. Yeah. Man, that's great.
And I'm sure Ethel knows how that is.
Yeah, she certainly does.
Yeah, I'm
She
sure
does.
things have gotten lost in her
I
cleavage
don't
before.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But probably not stuff like tortilla chips.
Oh yeah.
But
a lot of things could
that was
get lost
exactly
in
what I
there.
said. I picked it up off the floor and I was like, well, that's a new low. I didn't even know it was there.
Awesome.
I thought you would enjoy that.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of our listeners.
Yes.
Shit happens.
Yes.
You know
it
what,
does.
guys?
You know what? It's fine.
All right. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Gory Hole Podcast. Be sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe at the Gory Hole Pod. We are on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And don't forget, hit that 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. All right, we will see you guys next week. Bye, Gore Horse.
Bye. Stay gory.